Manchester United may have just lost one transfer target, but that loss could be about to trigger something much bigger. Because right now, Old Trafford is weighing up three names: Carlos Baleba, Alex Scott, and Aurélien Tchouaméni. One of them, insiders believe, has to be signed this summer. But here's the problem. Each deal comes with its own complication. One is about price, one is about wages, and one is about a director's room in Brighton that simply will not budge. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where Manchester United's midfield rebuild is heading, and which of these three names is closest to actually happening. This is everything you need to know. Let's start with how we got here. Manchester United's summer plan was never really built around one name. It was built around a position, central midfield, with Casemiro's departure leaving a gap that INEOS always knew had to be filled. The first move is already done. Atalanta's Ederson has been agreed for a fee in the region of £35 to £38 million. That deal is progressing. But Ederson was never supposed to be the only midfield arrival. United wanted at least one more, possibly two. And for a while, the priority target had a different name entirely: West Ham's Mateus Fernandes. That's not the whole story, though, because on Tuesday night, everything changed. Tottenham had an £85 million bid accepted for Fernandes, guaranteed payments, no messing around. United's proposal, by contrast, leaned on add-ons, and West Ham simply took the cleaner offer. Fernandes is expected to become Tottenham's record signing, and that leaves Manchester United with a decision to make. Fast. Which brings us to the three names now dominating conversations inside Old Trafford. Let's start with the one that's moved quickest: Alex Scott. Bournemouth's 22-year-old midfielder has emerged as United's most immediate alternative to Fernandes, and according to reports from the past 48 hours, recruitment staff have already pivoted their attention toward him. Here's why he's attractive. Scott can operate across the middle of the park. He's comfortable carrying the ball out from deep, dictating tempo, and contributing in the final third. He's proven in the Premier League already, which reduces the adaptation risk that comes with signing from abroad. Michael Carrick, according to multiple reports, is understood to be a genuine admirer. But this is where the situation becomes complicated. Bournemouth values Scott at around £80 million. United's opening interest is believed to sit closer to £60 million. That's a £20 million gap, and Bournemouth have made their stance extremely clear. They've already rejected an approach from Arsenal. They're preparing a new contract for Scott, possibly with a release clause, and they see him as central to their long-term project under Marco Rose, heading into their first ever Europa League campaign. And it's not just Arsenal in the race anymore, because while that was happening, Tottenham and Chelsea were also reported to be monitoring Scott's situation. Even Liverpool have been mentioned, given Andoni Iraola's previous relationship with the player at Bournemouth. So here's the reality. United see Scott as young, English, Premier League tested, and available at a lower profile than a Real Madrid or Brighton negotiation. But available doesn't mean easy. Bournemouth's resistance is real, and the gap between valuation and opening offer is significant. If United want Scott, they'll almost certainly have to bridge that gap, and they'll have to do it before 3 or 4 other clubs get there first. Now let's talk about the name that simply will not go away: Carlos Baleba. If you've followed this channel for any length of time, you already know this story. It's been running for over a year. Personal terms were reportedly agreed between Baleba and Manchester United as far back as last summer. But Brighton wanted more than £100 million. United considered that figure unrealistic. The deal collapsed. That's not the end of it, though, because here's the detail most fans have missed. Brighton's valuation has been steadily coming down. Reports earlier this year suggested a figure closer to £85 million. And more recent reporting, including from respected transfer voices, has suggested Brighton could now be open to a fee in the region of £60 million, less than half of their original demand. Why the change? Baleba's form dipped through this season. He was in and out of Fabian Hürzeler's side, substituted early in several matches, and by the manager's own admission, there have been noises in his head, a clear reference to the constant United speculation. But here's where it gets interesting again. Baleba has strong relationships already inside United's dressing room. He's a former teammate of Lenny Yoro from their Lille days. He's close with fellow Cameroonian Bryan Mbeumo, and Andre Onana reportedly encouraged him to pursue the move before his own loan departure. After Brighton's final day win over Wolves, Baleba was seen speaking at length with both Bruno Fernandes and Mateus Cunha. Those aren't throwaway details. Players talk to players, and when a target is actively building relationships with the current squad, it tells you something about where his priorities lie. Baleba himself posted a cryptic message on social media not long ago, the suggestion being that a move is a matter of when, not if. So why hasn't it happened yet? Because United, according to reports from The Guardian, may have already stepped back from this one for now, having turned their attention toward Alex Scott and Tchouaméni instead. Brighton, for their part, are still expecting to keep him this summer, which means Baleba is either the transfer United walk away from and regret, or the deal that's quietly still alive, waiting for the right final push. Right now, it's genuinely difficult to say which. And now, the biggest name of the three, Aurélien Tchouaméni. This is the one being described, repeatedly, as a dream signing. Not by fans, by reporters close to the club. Tchouaméni is 26, a World Cup winning France international, a genuine top 5 defensive midfielder in world football. And Real Madrid, under new manager Jose Mourinho, are reportedly restructuring their squad in a way that doesn't guarantee Tchouaméni a starting role. That should be United's opening, and in some ways, it is. But here's where things get interesting. There are two separate obstacles being reported. First, Real Madrid haven't formally opened the door to a sale. Their position, as of the most recent reporting, is that Tchouaméni would need to ask to leave himself, not the other way around. Second, and more significantly, there's the matter of wages. Reports suggest Tchouaméni's salary demands sit above what United have budgeted for this window. Now, not every source agrees on how serious that wage issue actually is. Some respected voices in the game insist personal terms wouldn't be the sticking point at all, and that United would be prepared to make him one of their higher earners if the opportunity became real. Others maintain the financials remain the primary blocker right now. That's the tension. Two informed positions, two different conclusions. What we do know is this: United see Tchouaméni as the long-term successor to Casemiro's role. Not just a like-for-like replacement, but an upgrade in profile, pedigree, and ceiling. Reports have suggested a fee in the region of £70 million could get the deal done, which, for a player of Tchouaméni's level, would represent excellent value if it happens. But that's the key word, if. Because while Real Madrid's stance may soften as they push to fund a move for Chelsea's Enzo Fernandes, nothing about this deal is close to done. Tchouaméni himself, as things stand, wants to stay and fight for his place under Mourinho. So where does that leave Manchester United? Three names, three very different situations. Alex Scott, the quickest to potentially close, but with a real gap on valuation and growing competition from 4 or 5 other clubs. Carlos Baleba, the longest-running saga, with a falling price tag and genuine dressing room support, but a club in Brighton who may still refuse to sell. Aurélien Tchouaméni, the most exciting name on paper, described internally as a dream signing, but blocked for now by wages and Real Madrid's reluctance to formally sanction an exit. Here's the honest assessment. None of these deals are simple. But from a footballing perspective, Tchouaméni represents the biggest upgrade. Scott represents the most reliable, lowest-risk Premier League option. And Baleba represents the deal United have already invested the most time and goodwill into. If I had to guess which one United prioritise in the coming weeks, the smart money right now points towards Scott, purely because of speed and certainty. But don't be surprised if Baleba resurfaces suddenly, given how far Brighton's valuation has already dropped. Tchouaméni remains the dream. Whether it becomes reality depends entirely on factors outside United's control. So, let's bring it all together. Manchester United have lost Mateus Fernandes to Tottenham. In response, they've turned decisively toward Alex Scott, while continuing to monitor both Carlos Baleba and Aurélien Tchouaméni as the summer progresses. Ederson's arrival from Atalanta remains the foundation of the midfield rebuild, but Michael Carrick and INEOS know that one more marquee addition could define how competitive this squad is next season. So what do you think? Should Manchester United push ahead with these deals? Which player would be your priority signing? And what happens next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more Manchester United updates here on Trafford Wire. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.